As we approach fall, it's time once again for another version of NBA 2K to come out. I am Brian Daniels, and I'm here to review NBA 2K23. This is being reviewed on an Xbox Series X, but of course it's available on, PlayStation and other platforms. So first I want to talk about the gameplay. You see here some of the game being played right now. The gameplay does feel a lot better than last year. I've never really had, with recent iterations of NBA 2K, an issue with the gameplay. I've really enjoyed it. Shot meter feels good. Defending feels good. Playing offense feels really good as well. But overall, gameplay is pretty solid. Animations are very smooth. And really, I don't think anyone's going to have any issues with the gameplay. I could be wrong about that, of course. I'm human and I am wrong about things. But me personally, I think this gameplay for NBA 2K23 is top notch. I've not found anything wrong with that. But I want to get into the other modes, some of the modes in this game. First, we'll start with my team. It's been in this series now forever, and it's just like it has been recently with the seasons, and you have to get XP for doing certain things, collecting cards, doing certain stuff in games you play in the modes, and things like that. All the modes you're familiar with are still here. There's Triple Threat Online, Domination, there's Challenges, and there's a new mode you see there. It's called Clutch Time, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. Every time you get a win, you get a spin, and you can win prizes and things like that. And I'll talk about more of that here in a second. But of course, it's what you've come to expect from 2K for their My Team section. It's really just more of the same. Of course, it's their means of trying to make you spend a ton of money on packs, trying to earn rare players and things of that nature. Of course, you can also still evolve certain cards and level them up. There's the card grading system is back once again, which was featured last year. It was returned this year as well. Other than that, it's just another mode that tries to make you spend a ton of money. And other than, of course, my career, which we'll get to later in this video. But I want to touch on the Clutch Time mode, which I've really enjoyed. Now, you can play this mode online, and Clutch Time is very unique in the sense that you pick your starting lineup for this, and it's only the fourth quarter, and you can actually shoot 4-point shots. Now, you're probably going to see another line outside the 3-point line. That's the 4-point line. And you're in the fourth quarter, and you only have the fourth quarter to win the game. Games are pretty quick. I've had a lot of fun time with this, especially trying to get those 4-point shots. And I've spent more time in this probably than I ever spent time in playing Triple Threat Online. Or Triple Threat, for that matter. But this is a very nice addition, and this can be played offline as well as online. So if you're looking for another mode that will be challenging to you, definitely check this out. What's also great about this is as you get more wins, you level up the difficulty. So you have to get so many wins in a row, and then you move on to the next difficulty, and it will get increasingly harder and more difficult, but there's more opportunities for prizes to be won, and points to be won, and etc. But this is definitely a mode we're checking out. The next mode, though, for me, is a personal favorite, is the Jordan Challenge. Now, of course, this is NBA 2K23, and, the number 23 is special because that is Michael Jordan's number when he was on the Chicago Bulls. And I love this mode. It's almost like playing a documentary. And before you start each of the challenges, you're going to go through one of the players that was involved in Michael Jordan's storied career. As you're seeing here, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course, an opponent on the Lakers back then. It's going to talk about Michael Jordan, talk about their experience with him. And then each challenge is unique to, what they're talking about. And one of my favorites is the shot. And you have to line up that shot, which is pretty cool. And there's other challenges in here too. One game you have to score 69 points with Michael Jordan. And none of these challenges felt pretty difficult because, of course, you're playing with a 97 to a 99 overall Michael Jordan. So these challenges are pretty easy. And you get some pretty sweet rewards too, albeit they're all for my career. And if you get 40 stars, there's 45 stars to earn. There are 15 challenges in this mode. And the other thing I really appreciate about this mode is the games are presented in the era in which they're played in. Now, you are going to play some games in the 80s because that's where Jordan's career started. But a lot of this you're going to be playing in the 90s because, that's where the Jordan era really took off, was in the 90s, of course. And you're seeing here the visuals and how things look, the pregame. This is really where this version of NBA 2K shines. At least it does for me. Especially if you grew up in the 90s like I did and you were a big basketball fan, but even a bigger Michael Jordan fan, this is the mode for you. Now, this isn't the only time NBA has done this. They did this before. They did this, I think it was in NBA 2K11. They had the Jordan Challenge. It was either NBA 2K11 or 2K12, one of the two. But they've done this before. But this time the presentation is a lot better. It does have an era filter, which I don't recommend playing with the era filters on because it just doesn't look great. It actually can make playing the games a little bit more difficult, maybe sometimes a little bit hard to see. The players can look a little bit blurry. But I love this presentation. This is what I'm looking for in a sports game, especially when you're going to talk about the storied career of the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. All from the player introductions, as you're seeing here in the All-Star game that Jordan was in, his first one, to just everything else. The commentary is amazing. The commentary is tailored specific to the challenge you play in this mode. It's just it's a mode that has really been amazingly featured in. And now next year is NBA 2K24, and we all know who played, if you're a basketball fan that is, or maybe not. Number 24 was Kobe Bryant. So I kind of expect NBA 2K24, next year's iteration of the game, to have a Kobe challenge, because Kobe was also a very big part of the NBA, and he had a lot of moments, him and Shaq especially. So I think we're going to see a mode next year similar to this for Kobe Bryant, and, as a way to honor him. Another thing that they added this year is My NBA Eras. Now, this is basically your association mode, if you're familiar with that, season mode. But what I love about this is you have a choice of 4 different eras to choose from, starting with the Magic versus Bird era. You can do the Kobe era, the Jordan era, and you can even do the modern era. Now, we're going to do the Kobe era here in this video, and I'll show you some things you can expect. One thing I like about this is that when you right before you get into the season and after you pick your team, which you'll see here, it's going to tell you what to expect from this era. Charlotte, like such as here, the Charlotte Bobcats joined the league in 2004. The league expands to 6 divisions. Social media takes off in 2007, and a few other things at the bottom, such as playoff changes, season changes, and rules and things like that. They do this for every era, and what's great about this is, much like in the Jordan Challenge mode, these eras are also presented in the same style as they would have been in that particular era. Also, you just saw there, you can use the draft classes for each upcoming year. So when you start the Kobe era, you can import the 2003 draft class. So draft classes are the same. So you can literally play in the era and change the landscape of that era as you see fit with whatever team you wish to play as. And I absolutely love this because the possibilities now are endless. They're absolutely endless. And, from each season ending and drafting certain players, I mean, you could start in the Jordan era and take control of the Lakers, and who knows, you might not get Kobe Bryant when that comes up, when the time comes for that. Or same thing here with LeBron James coming up. So you never know how that's going to work out. And you're seeing here the Lakers, this is the 2000s era, and this is the presentation style. Has that like ESPN type presentation here, and they do an excellent job of providing that here. And this is, I can't talk about this enough because when it comes to sports, I'm a huge fan of, and I'm always critical on presentation. And they pulled no punches here on the presentation. They did an excellent job on that, and I have to hand it to 2K for this. If you don't play My Player at all, or My Career, you definitely will be spending some time in the Jordan Challenge mode and My NBA Eras, because there's a lot of customization options here that you can choose from. You can even change up the rules, season rules. Like, do you want a 24-second shot clock? You don't have to have one. You can make so many different changes here, and it's absolutely worth it. You're seeing me here play a little bit here as the Lakers, Kobe Bryant's Lakers team, and even the commentary is tailored to that particular era. So I would say these two modes, the Jordan Challenge mode and the My NBA Eras mode, are absolutely, without a doubt, my two favorite modes in NBA 2K22, and they do an amazing job of providing that sense of realism and making you truly feel like you're in that era. And let me know, if you're watching this, by the way, what was your favorite era of the NBA? Next, we're going to move into the WNBA, and this is the W Online, and this is basically the My Career mode for the WNBA. It does have the player builder, which you'll see here, but one big difference between this player builder versus the My Career one is this doesn't use VC to level up. You actually just earn stats by leveling up your character, or by playing well. Imagine that. See, this mode really proves that 2K, if they really wanted to, could create a My Career mode for the NBA and not have it use VC. But, I mean, we all know that if they did that, they wouldn't make as much money. Anyway, you're seeing me create a WNBA player, and this is basically how this works on the in the WNBA. But I will say that you only have. I don't like the builder here because you can only choose preset. You can't go in like you can on the My Career mode for the NBA. You can't put attributes in and customize it and make your own custom build. No, you have to choose a pre-built character. And I don't like that. And so I think that they should make that more integral for next year. My opinion, combine the two modes. Just put women in My Career. Let them be a part of the park, part of the city. There's even a couple quests in My Career that allow you to play against women. So why not do it? Just do it. Just combine the two. Because look at all this. It feels very plain. It feels very basic. It doesn't feel like they really cared. And I'm going to tell you why they didn't care. Spoiler alert. It's because they don't make money off this mode. This mode doesn't use VC. I mean, this is all you get right here. And then this is how you level up. You have goals. You have things you have to do. Which I like. But, why not do this for regular My Career? Oh, because it's money. There is no park you can walk around in. There isn't any of that. It's just matchmaking is how you play the W Online. Now, you're watching some of the the WNBA being played here, and I wanted to show this off too. It plays just as well. And the thing is, honestly, it's just sad because this has a lot of potential to be even better than what it is. It's almost as if they copy and pasted it from last year's W Online. There's no builder, there's no customization, and people wonder why the WNBA doesn't get as much attention. It's because of things like this. And they even used the old badge system from last year, which this isn't even the same badge system you use in My Career. Y'all didn't try. You guys didn't even try. You didn't even try to do anything remotely different from last year's the W Online. I don't know. It just feels like such a cheaply done version. And quite frankly, these women deserve more. I mean, these women are ballers just as much as the men are. And I know I see debates about this all the time, like, oh, these women are just high schoolers. Let me tell you something. They will ball on you. You don't understand. These women are very talented, highly, highly talented women that know how to play basketball. And it's sad that, I used to live in Indianapolis. I used to go to Fever games all the time. And I wish that the league was promoted more. And, well, they're not going to get promoted more when, your basketball game doesn't really do a good job of featuring them. And you're seeing here more gameplay footage. And it plays well. Character models look great. The character models in the game, that's one thing I want to talk about too, is they do a very, very good job of getting all the player models in here. Now, of course, there's a few character models in here that aren't going to be in here. Some players, I can't think of any females in the WNBA that are not represented with their character model in here. But I will tell you that on the NBA side of things, you're not going to see Charles Barkley in here because he just doesn't agree to do that, which I kind of don't blame him for. Reggie Miller's not in here either, which for the same reasons. But all in all, it's a very good looking game, very shiny, and I just wish that the women got the attention they deserve, because this mode should just be, it really could be
I'm saying,
more
Chef,
than what it
host
is.
the leadership conference.
So,
my guy, MP.
Oh, he's such a mature young man.
Yeah.
A great young man.
So let's move on
Homeboy's
now
a few missed
to
jump shots
my
away from
career.
selling
My
knives
career
on late night
has
TV.
you as the
I don't know about
18th
knives, but
pick
how about you, sir,
in the
from-
NBA draft,
You too can make
and
$1,000
you get
a day
picked
work
over
from
this
home.
guy,
Click the link below
Shep
to find
Owens,
out
that
how.
guy right there in the white shirt.
And that's fire
And
content.
he ends up being the 19th pick, and he ain't happy about it. And neither is your city. Neither is the team that you got picked for. But you know what don't make no sense about this at all? Is it's about the 18th and the 19th pick in the NBA. Who actually cares about that? Tell me. Tell me, would there ever be a story in the news where it would be about the 18th and 19th pick? That makes no sense. They're treating this like you got picked number 1 and Shep Owens got picked number 2, and yeah, but like the city wouldn't care that much about that, I wouldn't think. But that's the story here, is you're trying to take on Shep Owens and try to make a good name for yourself in the city that you got picked for. And you can see here, this is the map. Skateboarding is back. And I want to talk about microtransactions, because the microtransactions are very, very ridiculous here. They commercialize the heck out of you here this year. Probably even more so than they did last year when they introduced the city. Prices for things are absurdly high. Like, for instance, we're going to go to this tattoo shop, and you're going to see just how expensive a tattoo is for your character. Just one tattoo is, look at that, 9,000 VC. That's almost the equivalent of paying, like $5 or something like that, $6 for a tattoo. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, granted, you can earn VC in the game, but a lot of times it takes a lot of effort, and as you do in these absurdly ridiculous quests. But you can see here that I'm going to show you the VC amount prices. Look at that. It's $5 for 15,000 VC, $100 for 450,000 VC, $2 for just $5,000. Still, that's too much. Lower those prices. Tattoos shouldn't be that expensive in your game, 2K. It's absurd. But anyway, there's quests that you can complete in this game, and there's events and things like that you can earn, and of course, they did, the attributes are still, monetized heavily by VC, and it's an insane grind, and unless you're someone that just doesn't mind shelling out hundreds of dollars to make your character go instantly to like 90, 91, you're not really going to enjoy playing the park or playing online, because everybody else is going to be a higher level than you because they got money. And that's a fact. Now, granted, you still have to grind and play to get your My points up, to be able to get your attribute points up, and things like that, to be able to level up. But they did add this leadership skills thing where, depending on the choices you make, on dialogue and things like that, which you'll see later, you earn skill points. These skill points can be opened up, or used rather, by various things you do in the game, such as getting like 5 unassisted field goals, or rebounds, blocks, steals, things of that nature. Of course, affiliations are back. The 4 different affiliations, those return. This is really just a copy-pasted version of last year. Nobody wants an MMO RPG. Nobody wanted this. And I just, it's ridiculous. All the things you have to do, there's so many quests. You got to do the music industry. You got to cater to the fashion industry. You got to be a rapper, pretend you're a rapper, which you're really not good at. J. Cole is in here. Boss is in here, from the music industry. You got other NBA players in here like Tyler Hero, Kevin Garnett, and more. It's just ridiculous. Not only that, but this game glitches a lot and freezes a ton. This runway I had to do for a quest, this thing froze on me 5 times before I was able to actually do it. I had to reload the game. I had to skateboard my ass all the way over to it because the fast travel system in here sucks. You can't just go on the map and pick a place you want to travel to and go to it. No, you have to literally skateboard your ass over to a subway station to then pick where you want to go. They really should have just made it, hey, I want to fast travel to this subway. Let me fast travel to this subway. No, you got to do all this. But as you'll see here, the game's going to start freezing up. I get out here. You see how it's glitching? Exactly. That's my problem. That is what I had an issue with playing this game. This happens a lot. This happens way too much. And speaking of quest, skateboarding is heavily featured in this game this time around because for some reason the 2K and Ronnie thinks it's a good idea to try to make their own version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. This is really just the Wish version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I mean, honestly, they need, if they're gonna have skateboarding like this in a game, then just bring in someone from another company to make your skateboarding better, because you have quests in here where you gotta grind on these rails, and it almost seems impossible sometimes because you got to get them at exactly the right angle like that to be able to grind on a rail, and you don't really control the direction of where you want to go. It does it automatically. It's just stupid. I get that they needed to have a means to be able to, get around the city. But did they really have to incorporate quest into it? I mean, the same ridiculous races are still in here too for skateboarding. But here you're seeing me have to talk to a couple people about, how I want to get into the skateboarding game. This is a basketball game. This is a basketball game. If I want to play Tony Hawk, I'll load up my PlayStation and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I did not play a career mode to skateboard or to rap or to walk down a runway. This is all filler. And the story is just, it makes no sense. Who cares? Like I said before, who cares about an 18th and 19th pick in the NBA draft? They did that because every year before was about being the number 1 draft and all that, going to college. They don't even do, as far as I know, there's nothing college related. It says there's college stuff in here, but I haven't got to that yet. But they just think that the whole world would be upset about the 18th and 19th pick. I mean, they think it's that serious, and it's not. The story is a joke. The story is an absolute joke. They want you to try to win the city and win the hearts of the city for whatever team you're playing in, and it's just doesn't. You just don't care. They gave me no reason to care about that. Having this be an MMO, which is exactly what this is, it makes it sluggish. It makes it slow. It doesn't work properly. There's a lot of lag. Sometimes scenes won't load. Sometimes you'll get stuck when you're skateboarding around, you'll get stuck up against a wall, or you can't turn right. I mean, Ronnie, do you guys do quality assurance? Do you guys do testing over there at 2K? Because you guys clearly didn't do enough testing in this game. Sometimes you can't even go into buildings you need to get into to do these quests, because they won't let load, or they won't let you go inside of them when trying to do them. And not only that, but why do you need me to dress up like Jake from State Farm? Like, why? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody needs to do that in a basketball career. That's just ridiculous. I have played this game for over 30 hours, and I'm talking mostly my career. And I still have yet to unlock any sponsorships whatsoever. Not a single one. The career mode is just honestly disappointing. I get some of the things they're trying to do. I know they want to try to make it different, be more open world. But I don't play sports games to play an RPG or an MMO. I play sports games because I want to play basketball. And I don't know about you, but me personally, unless you're playing my career, unless you're playing the park or you're playing games against people, multiplayer mode, if you were to not play any multiplayer, you're mostly not going to be playing a lot of basketball. It's mostly fetch quests. Go here, do this. Go here, do that. Put these clothes on and walk down the runway. Making multiple choice decisions when it comes to dialogue choices. The game is like a hot mess when it tries to get you to do so many different things that just honestly don't belong in any basketball game. I miss the narrative and just playing basketball. And like you'll see here, as I wear a hot dog on my head for a quest, I'm trying to get into this building and I can't even get in. Look at that. I can't even get in there. That's a quest. I have to go in there and do a quest and I can't even go do it because you guys don't fix this stuff while you're making millions of dollars off of everybody else. Which, by the way, 2K did provide me a copy of this game for review purposes. So I didn't pay for it. But neither should you. Especially when they decided to come out with a $149 edition of the game. Which really is just, you're just paying for 12 months of the League Pass. That's what the extra $50 is for. But, I mean, this is really just like a skateboard simulator. I feel like I'm playing Tony Hawk more than I am playing... this actually kind of feels more like I'm playing The Sims. You know, all these different jobs I gotta do and all these different quests. Basketball is really not prominent as much. The actual playing of basketball in the career is less than everything else you have to do outside of that. Like the business industry and catering to the industries and having to be the MVP of the city. Other than that, if you really want to play basketball in this My Career mode, you're really just going to be playing park. And going to the various courts and other affiliations and doing the events. Because outside of that, the story mode, there's barely any actual basketball. There's barely even any on-court basketball drama I've yet to have happen while playing. Barely any actual on-court stuff. I don't think I've even seen a single... Well, no, there was one with J. Cole. On-court cutscene. That's it. Everything else is in the city. That doesn't feel like a basketball career. That feels like I'm just doing a bunch of fetch quests over and over again. But that's why this section's the biggest, because it is the biggest part of the game. It's the part of the game they spend the most time on. I mean, look at all these quests they have you trying to do. You know, look at this. All these quests. There's tons of quests. Quests that have timers on them. Quests that want you to have to play, get 1,300 points while playing park, or win 500 games in the rec, or something crazy like that. To try to level up your season XP, because in order to finish your season XP, you got to get to level 40. And there's just, I wish the quest you did in your actual career that didn't involve multiplayer would also give you XP to level up your season XP. Why should I have to just play multiplayer to level up my season XP? I should be able to do everything else but that. Now, what I do like is the arena they added. They actually added an arena. It's supposed to be the arena of whatever team you're playing against, or your home team's arena. And you go in here, and they actually made the arena an open world aspect of the game itself. So as you go in here, I do like this part. This is actually kind of cool. And it adds to the realism of being an NBA baller. Is you actually have to go down and do the runway walk. If you've ever watched an NBA game, it's very famous scene watching the players in their sometimes ridiculous outfits, walking down and getting pictures taken and stuff. And there are quests that involve you having to do this, like the one I'm doing right now. And you'll walk past, they're all trying to yell at you, hey, MP, which, by the way, they used MP again. Wasn't that last season's guy, MP? Anyway, I can't keep up with the ridiculous names they use for your My Player. You actually go into a locker room. You actually can change clothes. You can change from your street attire, your city attire, to your actual on-court attire. There is a press conference room, which you'll see over here. That you after games, sometimes you'll do press conferences in the press room. Sometimes you'll even do the little media scrums they have in the locker room. If you've ever watched basketball in your life, you know that's what something players do. The biggest aspect they added in this game is the Trailblazer and the general dialogue choices. So depending on what dialogue you choose, it's not only going to influence your story, but it's also going to influence your leadership skills, and you'll earn skill points based on those decisions, as you can see here. Blue is the general, and red is the Trailblazer. And it's kind of like playing a heel or a face in WWE. It's kind of how I, as a sports fan and a pro wrestling fan, can relate. But that's going to be an integral part of playing your career mode, is having to make those decisions off the court mostly. You don't really do a lot of on-court stuff. But other than that, that is my review of NBA 2K23. It's an alright game. I mean, my career mode I wish they would get away from this MMO aspect of it. But other than that, it's a solid basketball game. When it actually comes down to what it's supposed to do right, which is basketball, it does an excellent job of that. I just wish there was more on-court drama. I wish they had rivalries with other players instead of just having like another Jackson Ellis. Because that's essentially what Shep Owens is. It's just another Jackson Ellis. Another rival, if you will. And I wish there was more on-court drama. I wish there was things that, involved referees and things like that. Getting upset, having your coach pull you off after having a bad game. Because if you keep playing bad, why would they keep you in? So I would think it'd be kind of cool to have that happen. You could maybe even have you lose your starting lineup job if you keep playing bad. But other than that, let me know, guys, in the comments below what you think about my review of NBA 2K23. I'm always reading the comments here, always responding to comments. I love to see you guys' opinions on these games. And I like to read them, and I will respond to them, and please let me know what you think. Also, before you go, please be sure to subscribe to our channel for more reviews on video games and other things we do here on this channel. We go to conventions and review them. We do thrifting on here from time to time, and a lot of other aspects here on the domain. And I want to say, most of all, thank you to those of you that are already subscribed. You are helping make this channel great. You're actually helping give us a voice to those that don't do great in the video game industry, such as EA, 2K, and things like that. We definitely appreciate you. And yeah, I just if you, I don't know, should you buy this game? Is it good? It's decent. I would wait for a price drop. That's my opinion. But anyway, other than that, I will see you guys on the next review. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys.